guys, welcome back to the very last video of this edition. So it's been so awesome and super interesting to talk about all things employment and being employable. Again, if you have not met Nisha, who's a recruitment specialist, please refer to the first video that we did and you kind of get a bit more information. But if you're catching up with us again, welcome back. And yeah, today we are going to be talking about interviews and acing an interview. And I think the most important thing to understand is that the fact that you've gotten an interview basically means that you're in the door and you just need to prove yourself for the interview. So when you are interviewing somebody, what's the first thing you look out for?
All right, guys. I think first and foremost, and hi again, guys. First and foremost, guys, it's very important for you to look presentable. So let's address first of all, the dress code.
The dress code.
Yes, the dress code part of it. Now, guys, it does not matter what position you're going for, the level of position you're going for, the dress code is very, very important. So hairstyles and all of those things, it's dependent. If you're going for an interview for for a food industry, they may not shortlist you if you've got black locks and all of those things. But ideally, let's just generalize this and say you need to look neat. Your hairstyle has to be your hairstyle has to be very, very, very neat. Now, what they will look for when you walk in is your energy and your confidence. So, guys, it's very important when you walk in there, you seem very confident, you seem very excited about being there, and most importantly, look confident. All right? And like Michelle said, once you've been called for an interview, it means that, this is what I say, you technically meet their minimum requirement. The interview part of it is just them getting to know you.
Trying to see if you actually fit within the organization.
Exactly, getting to know you. Precisely, but that's what they want to do. They want to put, the character and the person and the face in this great, amazing CV.
So much.
Do you know what I'm saying? So that's very important, guys. Firm handshakes. When you give a handshake, give a firm handshake. Not give a handshake
like a lousy one.
A lousy handshake. No, it's and then when I say a firm handshake, I'm not saying you must hurt people, No.
Don't be aggressive.
Don't be aggressive.
Yeah.
Just give it a firm
I also
handshake.
think that has a lot to do with what you said about energy.
Yes.
When you walk into a room, do you walk in with the firmness? Do you walk in with the confidence?
Yes.
Because the minute you have that, it's so much easier for you to actually reach out and give somebody a very powerful handshake.
Yes, I think what's most important is that understand that the outcome of your interview. Now, if you go back to what I just said, I just said the outcome of your interview, your being involved and underlined. It's your interview, so the outcome will dependent on you.
I got that so late. I love that. I like that.
Do you understand?
Okay. So you're in control.
You are in control. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is what I would say to a group of candidates just before I interview them, because I love to always prep them. So that they have a clear expectation.
But not everyone's gonna prep you.
It's not.
Not everyone's gonna sit down and prep you like you would do.
90% of the time, the prep will only take place if it's a bulk interview.
Oh, okay.
If it's not a bulk interview, I would have maybe prepped you over the phone.
Okay.
But I would have answered only the questions you would have asked me. You get what I'm saying? But then, as a recruitment agency, I'm gonna prep you to go to my client. But remember that I'm not gonna be there for that interview. So I will only prep you on what I know. But how the interview is going to be conducted will then be dependent on that particular client.
Okay.
So it's very important that you understand that the outcome of your interview is entirely dependent on you. So if you're going to walk in an interview and you keep a serious face, that's how the recruiters are going to look at you.
That's the energy.
That's the energy. Yes, that's the energy. But if you're gonna walk in an interview room and people are, you walk in there, you are excited, you all smiley. You will see everybody, everybody's face is going to basically They're going to be smiling and everything because that's who you are. So you drive the interview.
And people in general reciprocate the energy.
Exactly. So, and also important, keep eye contact, guys. We know that some cultures say that when you look at, when you keep eye contact with elders, it's a form of disrespect. No. There's no such, guys. We are in the professional environment, and we want you to look at us when we're speaking to you, and we want you to look at us when we're asking you questions. For an example, it's a panel interview. There's 3 of us. I'm the one who's asked you the question. Who do you look at? You have to look at me, so that I can see that you are listening to me, as opposed to you're looking down and looking everywhere else. It means that this person is not really listening to me. So you have to look at me when I'm asking you a question.
Because you look distracted.
You look distracted. You know how you, the body language and everything. It's very, very important. I mean, I had this one great candidate for this position that I had last year for a financial manager. My client was struggling to get this person. They had the position open for almost a year. Got them a great candidate, sent them through, and guess why they were declined?
Why?
They were fiddling on an interview. This person, she says to me, Michelle, oh no, she was fiddling, she was too fiddly. So such things are very destructive in an interview process. So you have to, your the way you're sitting, the way you you're conducting yourself throughout the interview, your body language says a lot. Here's my biggest enemy, guys. If I ask you a question in a panel interview and you feel that maybe it's offensive to you, and you feel that maybe it's irrelevant, which 90% of the time will not. But if should it happen that you feel that your interviewer is asking you a question that's irrelevant to that, rather address that right there and then, as opposed to.
Oh, okay, I see. So body language and showing your disinterest in what you've been asked.
Like maybe, no.
Okay.
You can't do that.
Okay.
Because remember that he asked, that one specific individual who asked you that question, but the rest of the guys did not ask you that question. Do you get what I'm saying? So
I just remember the guy who said, "Oh, what my bra."
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So rather be very humane about it and remain very professional. And then if I've asked you a question that's offensive or you feel is relevant to the interview process, then rather say, Michelle, with all due respect, I feel that that question is relevant to what I am here for. Simple.
Okay. So basically, be honest and be yourself.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
So, guys, please make sure you answer the question. The simplest thing that I say when I prep my candidates is 1 + 1 is always a 2. It can never be an 11.
It's like a story.
Does not happen. It does not work. And then keep your answers brief and straight to the point. Keep your answers brief and straight to the point. Another candidate of mine was declined because they're just speaking and nothing is connected.
You end up saying irrelevant things to the questions that you've been asked.
So don't go about the bush, get straight to the point. I've mentioned this on the first video. Guys, articulation is very important. So we cannot keep saying, come again, excuse me, what was that? No, we can't.
You must be audible.
You must be very audible. People must understand what you are saying, not understand what you are trying to say. Because the moment people have to figure out what you are trying to say, as opposed to understanding what you are saying, then you and them are not going to like each other.
So the interview actually becomes short because I feel like you're wasting my time.
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Yes.
You might not even do the job right, so thank you.
You cannot have your interviewer keep telling you consistently, can you please raise your voice? Can you please raise your voice? It does not work. Can you please repeat that again? If they've asked you that once, then know that whatever volume you've been using is not working. So automatically know that in your mind that, okay, I'm going to have to increase my volume. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then going on forward, that's the volume that you're going to use.
Yeah. And look, I think sometimes people also get nervous and sometimes their voice is down, but it's like what you're saying again, when somebody says come again the first time, you need to realize that, wait a minute, I need to speak a bit more louder and then increase the volume.
Exactly.
And then you can actually start speaking and being audible.
Exactly, yes. And always be relevant. be relevant to what you are there for.
I've said this a lot of times.
So be relevant to what you are there for. Be careful of what you say about yourself. Guys, understand what position you are there for. So understand what you are saying as well. Make sure that it does not negatively affect you from getting that particular position, because everything and anything you say shall be used against you.
Yeah. So it's like, for instance, and we gave this example saying that if they ask you what your weakness is and you're applying for a reception position, you can't say I'm very impatient with people, because you've automatically disqualified yourself from the job.
Yes.
So whatever strengths and weaknesses, whatever questions that you ask need to align to, it needs to align to you selling yourself.
Exactly.
The goal is for you to be liked and for you to get the job. So you need to answer questions to actually enable you to actually get the job.
Yes, answer questions that will enable you to get the job. Simple. And then when you are asked, or rather when you are given an opportunity to ask questions, guys, very, very important. Remember, when we give you an opportunity to ask us questions, we don't necessarily want you to ask us questions. It's not a must that you should.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. So if you have not jotted down questions before you came for an interview that you wanted to ask us, and you still have not come up with questions that you want to ask us through that particular interview, then you don't have any questions to ask us. It's okay to say, no, I'm okay, thank you so much. Don't ask questions that will hinder your application at the end of the day, because we've had a lot of interviews where you interview a person, this person is great throughout, they're flowing throughout an interview, and then right at the end of it, when they are given an opportunity to ask a question, they mess it all up. Do you understand? So your questions must always, this is what I say, there isn't a wrong or right question, but there's always a relevant question and an irrelevant question. So you must ask a relevant question that will help you, get the job.
So give me an example of a question that one can ask after a successful interview.
For an example, how did this position become available?
I've been asked that question before. And I thought it was a brilliant question. I was like, yeah, I really like that. I really like that.
You got what I'm saying?
I really like that.
What growth opportunities do you guys offer?
And I also think the type of question that you ask kind of tells us the type of person that you are. Are you an inquisitive person?
Yes.
Which actually could increase the chances of getting the job, because we walk out and be like, wow, I didn't think of that.
Exactly.
Okay, wow.
Yes.
That's very
So there's a question that I forgot to actually note down here. Guys, there's this one question. A lot of people find this question very confusing. This question is, tell us about yourself. People automatically think that when we say tell us about yourself, or when an interviewer asks you that question, we want you to sell yourself to us. Tell us about yourself. Let me tell you about myself. My name is Mishek Zodeti. I live in Cosmos City. I matriculated in 2008, and immediately after I matriculated, I then had to start working. I enjoy playing pool. I enjoy spending time with my loved ones. And I love soccer. I think that sometimes, people don't like spending too much time with me because I like watching soccer. I don't really like watching TV. The only time you will find me sitting on the TV is when I'm watching soccer or maybe an interesting series. That's me telling you about myself. I can go on and on and on.
Yes.
I've spoken surely 30 seconds. There isn't anywhere where you had me saying, I'm disciplined, I'm motivated, I'm a hard worker, and
I know my values.
I know do you get what I'm saying? So that's you telling these people who you are. What do you like to do for fun? What do you get what I'm saying? What interests you? Such things. That's you telling them who you are. A bit of background of what it is that you've done. Maybe after you've matriculated, you started studying, but then after you started studying, you worked this company and this company and this company. That's you holistically telling you about themselves.
Okay.
Or rather telling them about yourself.
Okay.
And nothing to do with whether you are highly motivated or on such things.
A hardworking person.
Hardworking.
And a lot of people say that. And yeah, I think because we've been told to conduct interviews a certain way, a lot of people are very robotic.
Yes.
So like personally, when I've done interviews, once I've done 3 interviews, I've heard the same thing from everyone, and I'm already irritated.
Yes.
You know, so just sell yourself, be you, and yeah, don't script it like everyone else says. I think this has been absolutely awesome. This series has been, it's been very informative, and I really hope that you guys actually got a lot of information out of it. If you need to get a hold of Misha, go back to the first video we gave you guys. He actually gave you guys all his details, number, email, how you can get a hold of him, and where you can get the rest of this information. But sure, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for joining me on my channel.
Thank you.
And just bringing us this information. I think this will be the first time, nor the last.
Definitely not the last.
Won't be the last time, so we'll definitely have you again. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a lovely one. Bye.
A quick one.
Yes,
Sorry,
before
guys.
we go.
Just before we go, remember it's important to prepare for an interview and not rehearse for it. Thank you. Goodbye.
Oh, that's such a gem. Okay, prepare, don't rehearse.
Yes.
I love that.
Thank you.
Okay, Mishak is definitely coming
Bye,
back to my
guys.
channel, guys, to explain that. Goodbye.